Word. Started na. Share. Okay. Good day, everyone. I am Edgar Sebastian Igabion, and together with Sean Geoffrey Dicano and Robin Jenrick De Leon, we are going to report about the Smartphone OS, which is a module under the Coursera in smart devices. So moving forward, we're going to tackle about the evolution of iOS in smartphone operating systems. So iOS or iPhone operating system is Apple's mobile operating system that runs on devices like the iPhone, offering a touch-based interface, strong security features, and seamless integration with other Apple products. So to begin the timeline, let's before that pala trivia, uh, iOS is first called iPhone OS before being called iOS by Steve Jobs. So to start the timeline, let's begin with the company, which is the Apple. So Apple Incorporated was founded on April 1, 1976 by three people, which is Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. So the company was officially incorporated as Apple Computer Incorporated on January 3, 1977. So these three people were the founders of Apple, pero only Steve Jobs remain ngayon kasi si Steve Wozniak, isa siyang engineering genius na umalis sa company para mag-focus sa philanthropy and education, while si Ronald Wayne naman, umalis siya few days after ma-establish yung company kasi that time, siya yung may pinaka-may asset sa company and natakot siya sa financial risk na kapag nag-undergo ng bankruptcy yung company, siya yung magiging liable doon. So ang natira is si Steve Jobs, and by 2007, pinalitan ni Steve Jobs yung pangalan ng company to Apple Incorporated. And by 2007 din, nirelease niya yung first iPhone, which is iPhone 1. Kasama nito yung first OS, which is iOS 1. So, nirelease niya ito noong June 2007. Ayan, nag-debut yung original iPhone na merong key features na capacitive touchscreen with pinch to zoom and inertial scrolling, mobile Safari browser, visual voicemail, Google Maps integration for early location-based services. So itong capacitive touchscreen, dito na nag-start yung mga touchscreen na phones. Pero ang capacitive touchscreen pala is nag-utilize ng electrical signal sa fingers natin para ma-detect yung changes sa screen. So meron ding other types like resistive touchscreen, infrared touchscreen, supersonic waves touchscreen, and many more. Tapos dito naman sa Google Maps integration for early location-based services, this is for future purpose pa kung bakit siya nirelease noong June 2007. Hindi pa siya fully optimized nung time na to. Tapos, ang ginagamit dito is yung GPS sa pag-locate ng longitudinal and latitudinal location ng tao that time. Then by the following year, nag-release naman ng iOS 1. That same year pala, nirelease yung iOS 1.1. Tapos following year ng January 2008, nirelease ang iOS 1.1.3 na nag-add ng support for iPod Touch, introduced iTunes Wi-Fi Music Store, allowed web clips and icon arrangement, enhanced location finding using base stations, Wi-Fi access points, and GPS. So by the following year, in-improve nila yung yung GPS or yung location ng OS by utilizing base stations saka yung Wi-Fi access points for reference points ng GPS para hindi vague yung paglo-locate, para maging mas specific, mas pinpointed yung location ng mga tao. Then following year, nirelease ang iOS 2 noong July 2, 2008. So dito nilaunch na yung App Store, bagong launch yung App Store dito. So this was a revolutionary time for app distribution saka sa mga app developer at introduction of the iOS SDK for third-party app development. So itong iOS SDK, dito gumagawa ng app yung mga developer for iPhone. So tapos dito pwede nila i-release sa App Store yung mga ginagawa nilang app. New features include contact search and Microsoft Exchange and mobile me support. So itong Microsoft Exchange is parang Google Calendar siya nung panahon na yun, nung 2008. Then, ay, tama. Then, following year, same year pala, by September 2008, ah, nirelease yung iOS 2.1 and by November 2008, nirelease ang iOS 2.2 kung saan in-improve lang naman nila yung battery life and speed nung ng phone. Tapos, in-add nila yung Genius Playlist, Google Street View, and podcast downloads. Then, by the following year, nirelease na ang iOS 3, iPhone Operating System 3. Tapos, inintroduce ito yung cut, copy, and paste na meron naman na sa mga local computers. Tapos, third-party push notifications. Ito na yung mga notif na nag-a-appear sa phone natin ngayon. Tapos, nag-add sila ng mga bagong features such as MMS, which is the SMS right now, USB Bluetooth tethering, yung pag-share ng information via wireless and via wired, tapos voice control, landscape keyboard, and Find My iPhone. So, noong 2009 pa lang, na-release na yung Find My iPhone para kapag nawala yung gadgets. Ganun. Then, by the following year, nirelease ang iOS 3.2 noong April 2010. So, inoptimize yung operating system for the iPad, tapos in-include yung iBooks, Bluetooth keyboard support, and location data usage. Then, by 2010, same year ng June, nirelease ang iPhone Operating System 4, iOS 4, multitasking with fast app switching and save states, added Retina display support, FaceTime over Wi-Fi, home screen folders introduce, power and memory efficient app design. So dito na nilabas yung FaceTime over Wi-Fi na sikat that time and until now actually. Kasi before nung time na yan pala, uso pa yung mga Skype, Friendster sa pag-utilize ng FaceTime. So naglabas din yung iOS ng sarili nilang version of video call which is called FaceTime over Wi-Fi. Then by February to March 2011, nagdagdag na sila ng hotspot utilizing CDMA and GSM, address limitations of 2G and 3G. So nag-add sila ng CDMA and GSM para i-implement yung tinatawag ng last group na nung previous group na nag-report na backfolding para kapag nawalan ng full na yung bandwidth ng higher level, magba-backfold sa lower level. Then by October 2011, nirelease naman ng iOS 5 na inintroduce doon yung iCloud for backup and sync. So dito na nag-start yung iCloud storage ng mga iPhone. Dito na rin inintroduce si Siri, pero hindi pa siya ganun ka-efficient that time. iMessage for multimedia communication, wireless and PC-free activation. Then by 2012, dito na nag-start mag-release yung iPhone every September sa mga following years. So nirelease din dito yung iOS 6 noong September 2012. So the reason bakit September yung piniling month ng iOS kasi every September nag-end yung fiscal year nila. So parang pagpapabango to sa mga investors nila sa pagbibigay ng reliability kasi every year sila nag-update. So kung merong specific date at specific time of the year sila nag-update, mas makaka-gain sila ng loyalty from their customers. Backward compatibility pala yung sinabi ng previous group. Sorry. So tapos ini-switch from Google Maps to Apple Maps. Nagpalit na sila dito ng Maps, then FaceTime support over cellular. So kung dati yung FaceTime nagagamit lang through Wi-Fi, ngayon naman pwede na through cellular data. Passbook for mobile payments and rewards. So nakagamit rin ng mga credits via phone. Tapos Siri enhancements and open table integration. So dito medyo nagiging mas efficient na si Siri. Then by 2013, same month, September, nirelease ang iOS 7 na nag-introduce ng Touch ID. So yun yung fingerprints, tas passwordless app store purchases, AirDrop for high resolution ad hoc sharing, and FaceTime audio support. So dito na rin nirelease yung AirDrop, which is a better version ng Bluetooth sa ng wireless sharing na Bluetooth nga. So kasi itong AirDrop compared sa pagsisend ng images via other platform, kapag AirDrop yung ginamit, send mo yung image at its full quality and resolution. Then by 2014, same month, September, nag-launch of continuity with Mac OS, Yosemite. Then third-party keyboards, inalaw na rin. And HealthKit for fitness data and HomeKit for smart home control. So dito nirelease na yung mga innovations sa paggamit ng operating systems. Na-utilize na nila yung for fitness, for smart home devices, tapos pati yung mga third-party keyboards, inalaw nilang ma-access yung mga iPad and iPhones, ganun. Then by 2015, naglabas na ng 3D Touch, introduced a newer iPhone models, wallet replaced passbook with Discover card support, moved to iOS tool for Android to iPhone transitions, and enhanced Spotlight search and news app. So by this time, mas nag-focus na sila sa software development kumpara sa hardware development sa mga previous years kasi naka-establish na dito ang iPhone ng quality ay ng standard na ng good standard pala sa mobile devices. Kaya mas nag-focus na sila sa software. Then by 2016, in-enable nila yung hiding default apps. Nag-enhance sila ng lock screen gestures, camera, which is yung ginagamit today view, new home app for HomeKit control. So, ayun lang, mga minor innovations lang naman tong sa mga following years. Then by 2017, ito na actually yung last sa Coursera kasi parang 2017-2018 ginawa yung Coursera. So hanggang dito lang yung iOS operating system na included sa Coursera. So dito naglabas sila ng key iPad focus features with Files app, cloud integration, dock for multitasking, split view, tapos drag and drop, tapos Apple Pencil enhancement, instant markup, notes, scan and sign, introduction of ARKit for augmented reality. Dito na nag-start yung for AR, VR, tapos customizable control center. Since wala na yung following iOS sa Coursera, in-add ko na lang yung pinaka-latest, which is yung 2024, yung right now. So meron tayong iOS 18 ngayon. So ang kinaibahan niya from the previous one is meron siya interactive widget smarter lock screen, dynamic UI, Apple Intelligence, smart replies, on-device processing, stage manager, enhanced multitasking, smarter app suggestions, universal control, cross-device FaceTime, satellite SOS, ARKit 6 Plus, which is very different na from sa unang ARKit, spatial Vision Pro and Vision Pro support. So sobrang dami na nang in-improve from iOS 18 from iOS to iOS 18 from iOS 11. So yun yung evolution ng iOS in smartphones. So moving forward, we're gonna tackle naman the iOS architecture for iPhone and iPad. So iOS architecture is a layered system that enables application development and seamless hardware-software integration. This report outlines the structural design of iOS consisting of 4 main layers and foundational kernel layer with device drivers. So yan yung 4 layers, Cocoa Touch, Media, Core Services, and Core OS. Tapos yung pinaka-base layer niya na kernel and device drivers. So let's first start with Cocoa Touch. So yung Cocoa Touch layer is the topmost layer responsible for user interface. So meron siyang UI kit framework, gesture recognizers, and auto layout, multitasking support, and additional frameworks such as map kits, push notification services, message UI. So yun yung parang pinaka-content ng first layer ng iOS. For the second layer, the media layer, ito naman yung nag-enable ng audio, video, and animation such as graphic capabilities essential for multimedia applications. Key frameworks ito, itong mga nakalisted below. Core Graphics and Core Image for 2D, 3D, Core Audio and OpenAL, Media Player, and New Stand Kit. For the third layer naman, Core Services layer, ito yung layer na nag-handle ng fundamental system, services, and support core app. So, ang key frame and core app functionality. Key frameworks ito is, Foundation and Core Foundation, CF Network, Event Kit, Core Media and Core Telephony, Grand Central Dispatch, iCloud Storage, Block Objects. So, yun yung under sa layer na to. Then finally, the Core OS layer, ito yung nagpo-provide ng low-level features such as hardware interaction, security, and OS level services. So itong layer na to pinaka nag-focus sa security framework and encryption ng device natin. Then finally, yung fifth layer na kasama dun sa four main layers is yung nasa base of the architecture, which is kernel and device drivers layer, which is sometimes considered separately nga from the software stack. Meron siyang feature na Mac 3.0 microkernel technology na nagmamanage ng CPU, GPU, interfacing, memory management, thread processing, tapos nagpo-provide siya ng high-performance networking, multi-file system support, device driver operations. So included technologies yung mga listed below. And that's all for me.
Okay, so to continue naman the discussion, I'm Sean Cano and I will discuss naman the Android evolution, which is ito yung OS na ginagamit ng mga non-iOS devices. So just short background. So Android is the operating system na dinevelop ng Google. Ito rin yung pinaka-popular OS globally na nagdo-dominate ng mobile market. So, Android is known for being an open source platform for customization and flexibility na mostly used ng mga developers. So, the first commercially released devices na nag-run ng Android were the HTC Dream na minamarket as T-Mobile G1 at yung Samsung Galaxy. Next slide, please. So, starting with the first Android beta, this was only used as a test version, which is released in November of 2007 na nagbigay ng Android mobile operating system. Then, it was followed by the Android 1.0 na na-release noong September 2008, which is ito yung first commercial Android OS na merong link na API levels wherein ang API level is a application programming interface which dito mo ma-determine na pag higher API level, ini-indicate niya lang na increased functionality control features. Kumbaga, pag higher API which means mas madami siyang features. Next slide, please. Uh, Ito yung moving on with the Android 1.0, also known as the Android Alpha. It's just meron siyang API level 1 and nilista ko dito yung mga key features na meron nung nirelease ito. So first is we have the grouping of folders into single folder icons, may access to web email servers, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth support, Google Sync, wireless synchronization of Gmail, people and calendar, basic applications included like calendar, maps, street view, talk voice dialer, wallpaper, and additional applications such as phone dialer, home screen launcher, gallery pictures, alarm clock, and calculator. Next slide, please. Which is followed by the Android 1.1, also known as the Android Beta. Increased API level to 2, which was released in February of 2009. So this Android version was released on the HTC Dream smartphone, and it was added features include attachments in messages, which can now be saved as a new feature. Next slide, please. Ayun, succeeded by the Android 1.5 Cupcake, increased API level of 3, released in April of 2009. So starting this Android version, uh, nagkaroon ng confectionery code names yung mga Android versions in alphabetical order. So nagsimula siya sa Android Alpha, Android Beta, and now Android Cupcake. ABC lang. Parang succession lang ng letters. So, ang mga added features, we had web browser copy and paste, user pictures added for favorites in contacts, screen transition with animation, auto pairing with stereo support for Bluetooth A2DP and AVRCP profiles. So A2DP stands for Advanced Audio Distribution Profile, which defines how multimedia audio can be streamed from one device to another over Bluetooth, where one device would be most likely be your iPad or iPhone, and the other device would be a wireless headset, hearing aid, or a audio system. Yung AVRCP naman is a audio-video remote control profile which enables a single remote control to control all local audio-video equipments. So this can be used with A2DP, and meron ding third-party virtual keyboards where text and prediction custom word user dictionary were added in this feature. In addition, nagkaroon din ng mga widgets. Ito yung mga miniature applications that can be inserted in another application. From this point, nagkaroon ng periodic updates used in home screen customization, where widget touching leads to direct app access, which is very convenient. In addition, and representative widget examples include weather widgets, clock widgets, and sport score trackers. Next slide, please. Moving on, nagkaroon ng Android 1.6 Donut, API level of 4, and was released in 2009. Added features include text-to-speech, multilingual speech synthesis engine, so where applications could speak a string of text. This is very useful when yung di ka nakatingin sa screen mo and nagbabasa mismo or binabasa mismo nung app yung information sa'yo. So in addition, enhanced fully integrated gallery camera, nagkaroon ng camcorder features which made camera access faster. So this donut also included multiple photo selection for deletion, nagkaroon ng CDMA EVDO, and 802.1x support was added. So ano ba yung CDMA and EVDO? Ito yung enhanced third generation mobile communication technology that supports high data rates. And it also enhances Wi-Fi technologies where VPN also support niya. So ang VPN is a virtual private network wherein a dedicated network connection setup in a public network became available. Nagkaroon din ng virtual tunneling protocols and packet traffic encryption wherein kasi sa typical public network, it is shared by users. Wherein VPN, you can create your own virtual private network on your computer or a server on your iPhone. So, nagkaroon din ng virtual tunneling technology where tunneled session would give you added security and packet traffic encryption. Nagkaroon din ng WVGA or increased screen support dito sa version na to, where 80 pixel height became available. As in, sa mga aspect ratio naman, nagkaroon ng 720 by 480, aspect ratio of 5.3, which is based on 800 by 480, and so on. Next slide, please. Moving on, Android 2.0 or Android Eclair. So, has a API level of 5. It was released in October of 2009. Added features include account sync, Bluetooth 2.1, and nagkaroon ng enabled search for all SMS and MMS messages. Nag-support din siya ng new camera features including flash, digital zoom, scene mode, color effect, and macro focus. Nagkaroon din enhanced Google Maps and virtual keyboard where improved typing speed using dictionary suggestions became available, and motion event class where multi-touch events were trackable and live wallpapers were supported. And nagkaroon din ng Microsoft Exchange email support. Next slide, please. Moving on with the Android 2.2 to 2.3, also known as the Froyo or frozen yogurt. So this has a API level of 8, which was released in May 2010. Additional features included Android C2DM Cloud to Drive messaging support, Adobe Flash support, USB tethering, Wi-Fi hotspot technology, multiple keyboard languages and dictionary, quick switching. Nagkaroon din ng NFC or near field communication, which is significant how people could exchange small information segments and supports various applications using payments, posters, and advertisement. Next slide, please. Moving on to Android 2.3 to 2.3.2 and 2.3.4 for Android Gingerbread. This has a API level of 9 and was released in December 2010. So added features, nagkaroon ng front and back camera support. So because of nagkaroon ng front and back camera support, naging popular yung mga selfies. Nagkaroon din ng virtual keyboard technology wherein added features included intuitive text input, improved accuracy, improved suggested text, voice input mode, and nagkaroon din ng copy-paste feature. SIP-based voice over IP support, where SIP stands for Session Initiation Protocol over IP networks, wherein IP multimedia communication sessions were now available. Ay, mali. Dito pala na-add yung NFC or yung near field communication na ginagamit for payments, posters, stickers, and other advertisements. Also added the voice or video chat on Google Talk. Next slide, please. Now, the Android 3.0 to 3.1 or Honeycomb. This has an API level of 11. Added features included simplified multitasking, tablet-only Android OS, and the tablet keyboard. Added camera features included quick access for exposure, focus, flash, front-facing camera, and time-lapse. Karoon din ng multi-core processing support, external I/O device support, and yung Android 3.1 or API level 12 na release noong May 2011, which is ang added features niya lang is keyboards, pointing devices, joysticks, and gamepad support. Next slide, please. The Android 4.0 or 4.0.2 ice cream sandwich, which has a IPI level of 14 na na-release noong October 2011. Added features include easy to create folders, drag and drop creation, enhanced visual voicemail, face unlock, and added features for camera functionality were zero shutter lag, time-lapse setting, panorama mode, zoom control during recording, and location and person-based gallery layout, built-in photo editor, and added Wi-Fi direct. Next slide, please. Now, moving on, Android 4.1 to 4.3, Android Jelly Bean. Increased API level of 16, which was released on July 2012. Added features include bidirectional text and other language support, Bluetooth data transfer, Android Beam, keyboard maps, multi-channel audio, at yung Android 4.3 added API level of 18 na ang key features lang is Bluetooth Low Energy and AVRCP 1.3. Yung AVRCP 1.3 is a Bluetooth audio video recording profile. Next slide, please. Ayan, Android 4.4 KitKat API level 19 released in October 2013. Wireless printing, Bluetooth map, API level 20, and released in 2014, wherein key features were wearable extensions. Next slide, please. Okay, Android 5.0 to 5.2 Lollipop released in 2014, API level of 21. Nag-increase na yung 64-bit CPU support, read and modify data on external storages, 50 new languages added, and to the OS package. So 5.2 API level 22 released in March 2015. Key features ay official support for SIM cards, device protection, and high definition voice call support. Next slide, please. Android 6.0 Marshmallow, API level of 23. Onti lang naman yung key features na na-add dito, which include Google Now on Top feature, Dose Mode, USB Type-C, native fingerprint reader, 4K display mode, tapos adaptable external storage. Next slide, please. Android 7.0 to 7.1 Nougat, increased API level of 24 to 25. It was released in August 2016. Added features, native multi-video window support, split screen view, and Daydream platform. Next slide, please. And lastly, yung na-discuss lang sa Coursera hanggang Android 8.0 Oreo or karoon ng API level of 26, which was released in 2017. So dito 2 times faster na mag-boot time, picture-in-picture mode, multi-display support, notification improvements, which include notification dots, badges, snoozing, Google Play Protect, Android Instant Apps, and Project Treble, separation for Android operating system framework and vendor implementations. Yung 2 times faster boot time pala is na-record siya dito sa phone na to, which is the Google Pixel phone. So when this Coursera was released, umabot na siya hanggang 2017. Since then, nagkaroon ng 9 Android version updates from Android 9, Android 10, Android 11, and yung latest ngayon is the Android 16, which has a API level of 36. Next presenter, please.
Okay. What is that? Can you next slide? Or paano ulit ng presentation? Kasi hindi pa ata i-exit mo muna. Tapos, check mo na yung Canva link. Kasi dapat nakaano na yan eh. Hello. Ayan. Tapos refresh. Hindi ko lang kung nasa dulo ako or kung na-paste siya. Pa-check na lang. 5 minutes chat,
Di
5
mo agad
minutes.
sinabi sa chat.
My bad, gang. Okay lang yun. Mabilisan. We can cook. Basta yung last parang 6 slides ata. Kasi architecture lang tayo. Architecture. Yun. That one over there.
Ito ba?
Yung, hindi. Onti pa. Yun, that one. Hindi ko pala natanggal. MB gang. So, ayun nga, Android architecture. This is the structured design of the Android operating system made of layers that work together to manage the phone's hardware and software that run apps and support everything what you or us users see on the screen. So, na-mention earlier yung sa Apple, yung meron rin siyang architecture. Pero dito yung sa Android, it's much more complex due to its open source na open source app or project or AOSP. So ayun nga, we can move on to the next slide. So magsisimula naman na tayo dun sa basis niya, yung kanyang foundation. So for me, I call it the foundation, which is the Linux kernel. Wait lang, sorry. Yung Linux kernel is the lowest layer that connects the software to the phone's hardware, handling things like memory, battery, and camera, and ensures the system has a stable base to function. Parang this is the thing that connects us to yung hardware niya. Like how we can use our cameras, yung mga sensors na nakalagay sa phone, and stuff like that. Next slide, please. So yung support system or yung libraries, these are the things that developers use to communicate applications to hardware and the phone run apps by translating developer code into actions that the phone can perform and it operate silently in the background to keep apps running smooth and efficiently. So these are yung mga database, mga libraries that are used by applications like our Facebook or camera app that yun nga, ina-access siya. And next slide, please. Tas yung toolkit or yung application framework, this provides tools and features that developers use to build more apps easily. So it supports functions like sending notifications, accessing the camera, and using location services. Dito yung mga permissions. Di ba kada may bagong app kang gagamitin, may lalabas na, hey, kailangan mong gamitin tong camera. Can I have permission to use it? Andyan yun. So yung activity manager mo, location manager, resource manager, doon lahat dumadaan. Like, so from yung libraries pupunta siya sa application framework, then sa application mismo. So last part, yung last part ng so yung apps, these are the apps that interact with the users every day, such as social media or messaging apps. They sit at the top of the system and rely on all the lower layers to work properly. So yun nga, included here are the home, browser, camera, contacts, clock, etc. Next slide, please. So yun, yung sa Android versus iOS, I will tackle this ng mabilisan. So yun nga, we can do yung Android, it is an open source or open source. Yung iOS naman is closed source. Android is developed by Google, Apple is iOS. So ayun nga, this is Google, it is provided by the Google Play Store, Apple is Apple App Store. Ang Android is highly customizable, ang Apple hindi, mahigpit. Ang Android nakikita sa maraming phone, Samsung, Xiaomi, etc. You can name it. Pero yung iOS, nasa iPhone, iPad lang yan. On God. Ang programming language ng Android is Java, Kotlin, and yung primary yun. Yung iOS naman, Swift, pati Objective-C. Ang assistants nila ay Google Assistant. Ang iOS ay Siri. Ang security nila is vulnerable because open source siya. Ang iOS naman mahigpit, kaya mas type yung security niya. Ang software updates nila, they vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. Pero pag Google, Samsung, they're on time. I think around the same as iOS, which is September. Ang basta yon. Tapos here, magbabasa na lang tayo. Yun nga, app experience